Hi, I'm Craig Taylor. I'm the Business Development Manager for Mobile Automation. I look after probably mostly sales in the business of mobile, and I look after new projects and so forth coming into our engineering group, so I do a bit of a handover, but we do a lot of investigation of customers' demands and requirements for projects, and that leads us to the project at hand that I suppose we're talking about today. So the project in question is one that brought up a lot of difficulties for the end user. The end user had up to 90 SKUs that they couldn't understand how they were going to palletise. They had a large demand on labour to try and, I suppose, overcome a problem, and that was how can they reutilise some of their labour back into their factory. They were really struggling to find good quality people who could do the day-to-day tasks that are important rather than just trying to handle boxes and palletise boxes. Now, the company had probably 8 people palletising every day, 12 hours a day, 2 shifts, so 24 hours full coverage, 6 days a week. And the demand for them was so high that when we looked at this project, we thought, how do we then go to that next step and be able to do all of their products with a minimal impact to their production lines, and then redistribute those people into those value jobs. When we went through the product development phase, we got Jareth from Pneutech in, and Jareth actually walked through all the different products that we were trying to handle and looked at how we were going to do that with us. So the collaboration between Pneutech with Jareth and ourselves and our team came down to actually using their vacuum gear, their Venturis and so forth, and their VMECA gear to actually physically lift up boxes, test and validate the flow rates of those vacuum cups, and understand whether we can get all the boxes out of a certain type of array of cups, or whether we had to actually tune down to these will work for this type and this will work for that type. Over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, Jareth and Pneutech worked with us really deeply to the point where we found one cup that would work for everything with the VMECA gear, and from that point forward we actually then tuned down to how many VMECA units we would need on each robot to actually be able to cover all the SKUs that the customer had. And to our surprise, we were lucky enough to be able to do everything with 1 gripper and 7 Venturis on each gripper. I think we're running 3 or 4 zones, or maybe 5 zones on each gripper, to then be able to pick up the product effectively, whether it be very small boxes right up to 15 kilogram boxes, and potentially multiple boxes. We're picking double picks on some of our products and so forth. And we ended up working with our 3 robots with 6 different running SKUs at one particular time. I think we're running at about 40 boxes per minute. So the solution has come leaps and bounds. It's been fantastic. The end user, we've just gone through FAT, and the end user is beside themselves. They're very excited to be getting their new palletising solution. All their employees are over the moon because now they're going to be moving back into the production phase of their products and be back in where they're adding some value to what they're doing. And they're not being, I suppose as human beings, they're not being wasted by just lifting and stacking boxes all day, and the lovely system behind you that you can see is adding all that value back to the end user, and Pneutech and ourselves are really excited to be able to deliver this project. So with regards to FAT, or factory acceptance testing, what we do is we build the system out and prove it out for the client. So the client comes out and we actually test it in a full run with their product. And once that's complete, when we close up the system, we put all the covers in play, we tidy it up, and we send it to for the installation location, where it then gets rebuilt and then gets proven out again, but in full completion and ready for the customer to use.